Is there anybody off the top of your head, kind of just first reaction that you're super excited to work alongside with this year? Uh, Whether that's, ribbon Shota a little bit, pranking him if that's something that you all do, or even some new signings today. Even just, you know, eh, kind of first reaction. Who are you most excited to get down to work with?
Probably Shota, yeah. I'm seeing some of
Cool.
his highlight films. He's got electric stuff, and just hearing the whispers of the pitchers, after he throws his bullpens, and just how they're talking about his stuff and how he goes about his business and his work, and I'm like, dang, all right, this guy's the real deal. So I'm excited to see it. Hopefully, I can get like a live AB off him just to really
Yeah.
really get a true scope of what it's like. Hopefully take him deep. No, I'm kidding. Well, maybe not really.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
man, humble him.
Yeah,
welcome,
come
welcome to the
on.
team.
no,
Welcome to Chicago, man.
Yeah,
yeah, I'm on your team, so that's good.
There you go.
I'm only kidding, but yeah, probably Shota. Definitely, like you said, try to rib him a little bit. Yeah, I don't know, because I think one of the cultural differences too. Like, he doesn't know if we're joking, if we're serious. He doesn't know me from
yeah,
anybody else. So being able to kind of have that edge on when it comes to the jokes or the pranks. I love Saya. Saya's super cool. We have a good relationship, so I think he'll understand. But
Totally.
it'll be nice to play behind Shota. I'm excited. He's one heck of a talent.
So today we saw a highlight from Nico where he stuck with the play and he threw it the first like well on the run, kind of between his legs. What's it like getting to work with uh, players like Nico and Dansby in the infield?
Yeah, and so Nico's a workhorse for sure. He is meticulous about his work. He's very detailed. He's very direct when he works. He's got like a plan to his madness for sure. Um, so smart, so aware of the game. It's pretty incredible. I love to watch him work, and then for him to get rewarded with that Gold Glove this year,
yeah.
truly amazing. He's one of my favorite players for sure. And then Dansby is incredible too because he's so open with um, helping you out or pointers or talking through the game. He sees the game in such like I want to say like relaxed view. Like I feel like his heart rate like never gets up. I'm like, geez, like no moment's too big for him. But just nice to be able to pick their brains about things, and they both bring something different to the table when you ask them. And I really respect that about both of them.
Yeah, I'd say all Cubs fans would say that Nico got snubbed 2 seasons ago. He wasn't even nominated
It's
for
crazy. I texted him too. I'm like, dude, that
shortstop,
should,
and
yeah, like you just transitioned. This is your first year, from
yeah,
second the year before. Now you're playing short, and you were excellent. You should have got it, or at least been in the
yeah,
running. Like, come on.
it was a really interesting conversation on Cubs social media because obviously with the shortstop free agents that were on the board, there were a lot of fans that wanted to see one of the big names signed. Obviously, we end up with Dansby. I say we. That's sorry. That's my fandom. I talk about the team as if I'm on it. Say we.
That's all right.
Obviously, you guys end up with Dansby, but there were some fans too. Like when free agency was dragging on. Obviously, not as long as it's dragged on this year, but as free agency was dragging on, people were saying, "Well, hey, we've got Nico. Like he did it. He did it this past season. He should have been a Gold Glove, nominee if not winner." And the point was like, "Yeah, but now you've got this middle infield defense. You got two Gold Glovers
Yeah.
up like, and who knows? I mean, hear from Shota down the road here. That could be one of the reasons why he signed with the Cubs, knowing that he's got those guys behind him." And whoever ends up at first base, that's going to be. I mean, obviously you've played some first base. It's gonna be interesting to see how the positions shake out in the infield this spring.
Yeah, it'll be super interesting. Yeah, to your point, basically we have two shortstops up the middle, and
Mm-hmm.
like, and I think the fact that the Cubs knew Nico is so good at second and short, they could go after the big name shortstops or a big name second baseman, and
Right.
now Nico is a big name second baseman, right? Like,
Yeah.
hit, one of our better leadoff hitters or second hitter. What he's at the top of the lineup and then does it in the infield, stealing bases, scoring runs. I mean, the ultimate package for sure. So, yeah, I mean, they're great both up the middle. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, I think
We're
he's still
pretty
slept
fortunate.
on nationally. I think Nico's still
Yeah,
slept on nationally. I think if he can repeat what he did last year, I mean, he's got the league on notice.
for sure.
One of my favorite things about spring, I haven't been out to spring training yet, but seeing videos of Cubs alumni. I mean, you see obviously like people like Billy Williams, Mark Grace, Sutcliffe's always out there, Fergie Jenkins. So keeping that in mind, like those guys in mind, have you been able to pick the brains of any of those alumni? And has anything that you've learned from them shaped your philosophy as, either on the field or off the field? I'm sure they've got a lot of great, valuable knowledge about life outside of baseball and how to balance everything.
Yeah, for sure. So Sut is always in uniform and always around, and always open to give you some advice, whether it's needed or unneeded. But no, Sut's great. Like when he's serious, like you definitely know that, like he's trying
Yeah.
to help you, and so you're like, okay, like he's actually telling me something like that's serious, and he's really trying to help me. He's not joking around. So I like that about Sutton. He does bring a lot of value, and like, hey, like I see you doing this in the box, or like, dude, you're super late. So, and we even had those conversations during the season too. And he'll come down after in the clubhouse, and he's like, dude, like, whatever the case is, well, you should be looking for this pitch. Like, it looks like you're looking for that pitch, or they've been like pounding you inside and then throwing you away. Like, he's able to see it from a different perspective. And when he says stuff, it carries weight because he's Rick Sutcliffe, right? And then Fergie, yeah, Fergie just got here today, so that's always cool to see. Every time he shakes your hand, like I feel like his hands go around your hands. His hands are so big. Um, but like to your point, yeah, having these legends around, having these Hall of Famers around, um, it's encouraging. It shows a lot of confidence in the organization that they're still around, that they want them around, so we can do it the right way and what it takes to win and to be great ball players too. And so it's always nice just sitting around the cage at batting practice, being able to talk to Billy Williams or his routine, or Fergie and how he pitched certain guys, and you learn so much just by chatting.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you were a young player, kind of coming up through the minors, and you just got your first invites to like major league spring training camp, was there a veteran that like took you under his wing to kind of help show you how to be a professional ball player and balance baseball and family?
Yeah, so I came up with the Cardinals in
I'm
my
not going
first
to
big
hold
league
that
camp.
against you.
I know, yeah, out of my control really, but I'm super thankful just because I was in a clubhouse, in spring training with Adam Wainwright, Yachty, Matt Carpenter, Matt Holliday, Alan Craig, Lance Lynn, like all these. I can go on and name all these guys that played a significant role in shaping me on how to be a professional, both on and off the field. And they just went about it in a way that was, I guess, like the right way to do it in terms of being a leader. Not in your face, not blowing you up, being stern when like you messed up or you were out of line or you didn't come up to the standard. Because that was a big thing with the Cardinals. It was everything was to a high standard. The way you dressed, the way you showed up to the field, what you wore on the field, how you did things on the field. It was a very high standard. So, but those guys particularly had such a big role in showing me what it was like to do the right things both on and off the field.
That's yeah. I mean, the names that you are able to
It's
pull
just
from your experience, you're sitting there and you're like, man, that's an incredible roster of
Yeah.
individuals. Just yeah, Cardinals players, but
Yeah,
like, wow, like still, that's
Respect
just
from
sure.
Cubs
incredible.
fans still.
Yeah, yeah.
I
I
mean,
mean,
Right.
it's obviously a
huge.
rivalry, but like Wayno, especially like listening to Wayno talk
Yeah,
baseball is fantastic. And any Cubs
Yeah.
fan
absolutely.
who says otherwise is bullshitting. Like, there's no way.
Oh, dude, for sure. And like, when we started, and then when I came over to the Cubs, and then we played in St. Louis, like Hey, no friends between the lines. Like, let's go. Like, I say what's up to Yachty, and then he's freaking throwing me a 3-0 slider and curveball. I'm like, or cutter. I'm like, dude, what are you? Come on, like it's
Yeah,
3-0.
no
Freaking
breaks.
groove the heater. And he's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
no, Poppy, I know you're swinging. I'm like, geez, like let's go. But yeah, so yeah, I got to give a lot of credit to those guys just in shaping what it's like to be a pro on and off the field.
Absolutely. Well, and
Yeah.
you know, um there's so much talk about, your physicality as a player. You are quite a physical specimen. Watching you hit a ball is something I'll never understand. Like, where did it go and how did it go that far?
Yeah.
Um, but that's only that. I feel like that is truly only half the game. And I'm asking this kind of on behalf of Mitch here because there's a lot of lessons to learn from baseball just in general or any sport that you do play. So, it's I guess the question here is, what do you do to work on the mental side of baseball? So, the sport itself is filled with so much failure and success on both sides of the coin. If we could always be successful, that's great. Um, but Mitch, for example, he's got some kids and he's working on how to teach his kids that it's okay to fail and how to grow from that kind of failure. Um, and the interest, I think for youth and kids coming up is like, what more are you learning about yourself other than just how to be really good at this sport? So, the question is, how do you deal with it? And what would you advise to youth, especially young kids in Chicago, in the city of Chicago, who really, who see you, look up to you, and truly enjoy watching you play?
Yeah, I mean that's a great question, and I wished I would have known. I would say like maybe second, third year in the pro ball, like what it like the mental fortitude it took. Coming from college where you play maybe a Tuesday and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you got like the rest of the time to kind of iron things out if it didn't go well, or keep riding that high when things are going well. But when you get into pro ball, it's every day, and if it's not going well, it cannot go well for a long period of time if you let it, and it's easy to let it happen. But also on the flip side, like you said, with the successes, it's easy to let that get to you too, and then all of a sudden that cliff happens real fast, and you got nowhere to go. You got nowhere to turn to. You don't know how to sustain yourself. Both in the middle, I would say. So to answer your question, I have like a leadership mental coach, that someone that I met when I was with the Cardinals. He doesn't work with them anymore. He works with other organizations and stuff like that. But I reached out to him and I was like, "Hey, I feel like I'm lacking in this area. Like, you want to chat? You want to like just talk like normal?" And he said, "Yeah, absolutely. Like, let's do that." And it's not. I'm not laying on a couch, with my eyes closed and talking about my problems. It's
Sure.
it's
Wouldn't
it's more
judge
than
you if
that,
you
right?
were. No
Right.
Yeah.
judging
And I'm
if you
not
were.
judging. And I'm not judging anybody that does that, but just trying to paint a picture. And he's just like,
Yeah.
"Yo, what's up, man? Like, doing okay?" Or being able to kind of shift the focus off the field and kind of address stuff that way. When it gets into the field and into the nitty gritty, I got the tools in my bag to handle what's thrown at me. And I think that's a general. It's for life too, right? It's not just baseball, but like you said, like
Totally.
there's so much that happens in baseball that you can translate into life. Dealing with failure, we can do everything right. We can swing at the right pitch, hit it right on the barrel at 120 miles an hour. It's caught, maybe
Yeah.
lined out to the center fielder. I mean, that's where you practice to hit the ball like on a line through the center of the field. And now you're out. You're 0 for 1. People in the paper didn't know that it was perfect. You just see that you're 0 for 1 or whatever. And
Right.
how do you handle that? Like, you literally did every single thing right that you could, and you didn't get rewarded. You're out. And how that happens in life all the time. You can be the best person, the nicest person, the greatest at your job, and you get no rewards. Like, well, what else can I do? I got to do more. I got to do more. I got to do more. And that's the case. You don't have to do more. You just gotta like pull the reins back a little bit, slow it down, and just get right after it again. Just keep going. Each at bat's new, and I think translating that to life would be each day is new. Each little task is new. just because you fail at one at bat doesn't mean you're a failure of a hitter. You're a bad hitter. It's like, all right, well, I got out. And we talked about that a lot in the dugout, in the cages. It's just separating each at bat, each pitch. I mean, I can go on a huge tangent about this stuff, but I think to kids, it's like failure is part of the game. Like Hall of Famers get out 7 out of 10 times. That's crazy. And any
Yeah.
other facet of life, like you're wrong 7 out of 10 times, you're probably not gonna be in that job anymore.
No.
You fail 7 out of 10 times, you get the wrong the specs of building a house wrong 7 out of 10 times, like no one's gonna hire you. Like
Right.
it's crazy. Like you can think about it, but in baseball,
Even in other sports,
yeah.
right? Like a 30%
Right.
success rate. Like if a passer is only completing 30, like quarterback's only completing 30% of their passes. No way, man.
It's not gonna last long.
So true.
No.
So true. So if you can you have to like shift your perspective, and I know it's hard. The game is really hard, and like you practice so much, and also like I heard this the other day is like you get mad or we get upset. Talking about myself, I get mad or upset, not because I got out. It's because I know deep down, like I'm better than that person standing on the mound, and I got myself out because I wanted it so darn bad. I wanted to hit him so bad that I was just swinging at whatever because I know I'm better than him, and like throw it in here. I'm gonna prove to you that I'm better than you, and that's just the wrong way to go about it. And like when someone told me, I'm like, dang, that is so true. Like it doesn't matter if I got out. It's the like how I got out, and I got myself out because I'm white knuckling up there and like creating sawdust, from that movie. What is it, Rookie of the Year?